So clearly the pandemic has been beneficial or transformative for the business that you've been in. Where to now?
Yeah, look, we've seen obviously a very interesting last 12-month period. From our perspective, the primary shift has been away from credit to debit, and you're seeing that then subsequently translate into significant lift in buy now, pay later demand. I think the next generation consumer is only getting more powerful in their impact on the economy, given they now contribute 30% of retail, and in 10 years will contribute 50% of retail. So we're seeing their trends really start to permeate throughout the broader ecosystem, and we've been fortunate to partner with some of the best brands in the world that have continued to take us global.
It's funny because it's sort of like a sense of the democratization to access to finance that I think you're alluding to there for the next generation. What kind of a regulatory and government role do you see in this?
Yeah, look, it's been a really important topic for us. And from day one, we've always been pro-regulation. What you're seeing is 2 out of 3 millennials in the US and Australia don't own a credit card anymore. They use debit cards. 90% of our consumers use a debit card, not a credit card. It does mean that traditional forms of assessing credit aren't as accurate or as indicative of someone's risk profile as they used to be, given this generation is spending money fundamentally differently. So, the way that we've thought about our model, where we disable someone's account the moment that they're late, so they can't keep shopping, that is the opposite of a credit provider that desires someone to be outstanding for as long as possible, because that's how income's earned. So definitely a really important topic for us to keep having the right conversations with regulators throughout the world.
Nick, we've heard chatter that perhaps your platform would be incorporating cryptocurrencies when it comes to payment methods. Is there a plan?
Yeah, look, you've definitely seen a variety of trends that millennials have led over recent months. I think, in many instances, this is showing that the millennial cohort can have a very meaningful impact in a short window of time on the broader ecosystem. So crypto is definitely something that we've been following. There's obviously a huge amount of demand in our core consumer base. More importantly, I think it shows the macro trend of how millennials are really having their impact, and their preferences are now starting to become the trend in the economy.
Not all cryptocurrencies created equal. Which ones are you planning to incorporate, if you do, and when?
Yeah, look, we haven't announced any plans to incorporate crypto as of yet, but we've done a lot of research into our customer base on their desire for crypto, how many do hold crypto. We did roll out our Pulse loyalty program V2 as of a couple of weeks ago, and that really starts to create that point.
Which ones do they want to see incorporated?
Look, I mean, I think there's the distribution in terms of demand that you're seeing in the market, and naturally that translates to consumer preference. So I think it's pretty obvious which are the ones that have the greatest holdings, and where commercial application starts to show fruit, that's where it's going to get interesting.
Nick, where do you see the commercial application then for your business model that involves Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, like from our perspective, we've been watching Bitcoin from the sidelines. It hasn't been something that's gone mainstream from a consumer perspective, but we'll certainly keep a close eye on it.
Talk to me about the regulatory side. Are there worries for you, particularly as you're looking quite clearly to beef up your international expansion plans, your North American expansion plans?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about how the credit industry works, if 100% of people pay back a credit card on time, the industry simply doesn't exist. It doesn't function. Incentives are for someone to not pay back rather than to pay back. So to have a product that we've designed that's fundamentally shifted alignment with the consumer is a really important value proposition for us. And to be able to work with regulators throughout the world is a great privilege as we look at seeing this buy now, pay later option with no interest continue to expand prominently. So we've obviously made a lot of progress in Australia over recent years, which is our most mature market. We've made some strong progress in the US, and similarly in the UK, we're having active conversations. So it's great the right conversations are being had.
Beyond the UK and the US, what other geographic markets are you focusing on this year?
Yeah, so our global retailers have really taken us international. It was why we went into the US. It's why we went into the UK. More recently we launched into Spain, Italy, and France as well. So Southern Europe is now an important market for us, as well as Canada. So we are looking to be that global platform for these global brands, and to be able to prove results for them in their home markets, and then leverage those retail relationships that we have to expand internationally. That is core to our strategy and has been from the day we started the business in Australia. So now live in a variety of countries, and more to come soon.
Your stock, after surging triple digits last year, not doing quite as well this year. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you follow that?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's for sure about our share price to date is there's been, variety of timeframes of volatility. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the execution that really drives the outcome for us. And, we've been fortunate to continue to show the growth that we have from a GMV and revenue perspective. And as we keep expanding our retail relationships, our consumer presence, and our international expansion, we're confident that our, short and medium term plan will keep delivering like it has in the past.